This is Pat McGuigan with CapitolBeatOK, and I'm interviewing Tina Korbe Dzurisin on the subject of the Hobby Lobby litigation. The reason I'm doing this here in Oklahoma City is it's an Oklahoma City corporation. Tina, tell us your perspective as you observe the Hobby Lobby case unfolding.
First of all, Hobby Lobby is a corporation based out of Oklahoma City for which we're very grateful because they employ 13,000 people and they're a wonderful company. They do operate their organization by biblical principles, and that includes just treating their employees very well, paying more than the average company pays its employees, that sort of thing. They have a religious objection to the Obamacare mandate that would require them to provide employees insurance that covers contraception. And so they've sued to say that they should not have to do this. And the government's argument is, oh, well, if we let Hobby Lobby out of this requirement, any company could just make up any religious belief to get out of a whole host of laws. And my response to that is either we have religious freedom and it applies to individuals, or we don't. And to me, it's really that simple. I don't know if you want me to go into any more detail with that, but I look at religious liberty and say that it's part of our whole philosophy of limited government that if government's going to continue to expand and place these mandates on us, we're just going to have less and less freedom, less and less liberty. And so if Hobby Lobby loses this case, I think that that's a very scary and frightening thing, or it should be a very scary and frightening thing to anyone who really values their First Amendment rights.
Appreciate your perspective. You know, a thing that struck me as much as the litigation itself is some of the reaction among, particularly the Catholic population who kind of feel like the cavalry maybe has come over the hill. This past week or so, there's been 145 rallies scattered around the country, with one of the biggest ones in Chicago's Dealey Plaza protesting the HHS mandate. Is there another aspect to the Hobby Lobby litigation?
Well, absolutely. These rallies are proving that Americans do still value their First Amendment rights, and we said this before, we were just kind of chatting, but if this were the Occupy Wall Street protests, you would see the mainstream media covering this like crazy. And you probably a lot of your readers or viewers might not know that these rallies have even been taking place. And so that the side of this that the administration is not telling is that opposition to Obamacare, and particularly this mandate, is as strong as it has ever been. You've hardly even heard that in this presidential election, but what's wrong with this contraception mandate is what's wrong with Obamacare in general, that it's forcing people to engage in commerce against their will. That's unprecedented. And even though the Supreme Court ruled that it's a tax and not a penalty this summer, the penalty for not complying, it still is a penalty. It's very clear in the way that it's written, and even more importantly, again, the fact remains that it's forcing people to engage in commerce against their will, and Americans aren't going to stand for that.
Just tell us your title with the Oklahoma Council of Public Affairs.
I'm Policy Impact Director.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.